What y'all think about Portnoy?
I think this is further proof Portnoy is going to be president.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Whoa. Okay, let's break down the story real quick. Okay, so Dave Portnoy, head of Barstool, there was a 4,000-word piece written by somebody at the Business Insider.
Right.
The Business Insider is essentially like a Patreon, I guess, for it's like a business.
It's like BuzzFeed for
articles.
money.
Yeah, but you have to, there's nothing wrong with being behind a paywall, patreon.com/Flagrant2. I'm not going to hate on that. But essentially, they wrote a hit piece about him saying that there were women that were coming out and they said that he was having like extremely violent sex with them. They wrote this piece and they had these women come out. And there was a couple girls that was mentioned. This girl, Madison, started messaging him over like text and Snapchat. The messages got explicit. Apparently, he sent videos of him fucking to her. She says that she has like a rape fantasy. Portnoy flies her out to his house. This is all alleged. He films her while she's blowing him. They have sex. She claims it was too rough. Said it was too much. She slept on the couch that night. Portnoy says that it was all consensual. They disagreed about everything after having sex, and that's why she slept on the couch. Madison texts her friend a few days later saying it felt like she was being raped.
Yeah.
And what Portnoy basically said with this is he said, she said. This is not true. He says it's not true at all.
Yeah.
She says, I guess it is. And then we got to figure that out.
And a little extra detail for the couch thing is that was after a few weeks. Like he was like, we talked for a few weeks after having sex, couldn't agree on anything. And one of those nights she slept on the couch. It wasn't even like the same night. It was just like, we had sex. We have nothing in common, nothing. We're still trying to make it work. It's not happening. And she wanted to have sex that night again. And he was like, we're not going to have sex. We don't agree on anything. And then she slept on the couch. I'm pretty sure that's what he said in his statement.
And then there's Allison. Basically, she said that her friends put her up to messaging Portnoy. She wanted to bring friends for the first time. They were to meet. And Portnoy said it would be weird for them to have friends there if they were going to be having sex. They don't meet up. Then they meet up. She says they have sex. He spat on her, choked her. She felt like she was preyed on. And then took a selfie with Portnoy and her leaving his house. So I guess that picture starts circulating. She feels suicidal and depressed. Her mother finds out, and starts going after Portnoy. Portnoy releases DMs of him and Allison talking after. He says, "Miss my dick yet?" She goes, "Ha ha ha, of course." She replies. Allison herself has said that it's not sexual assault. It seems like the mom was kind of really stirring these things up to protect her daughter. Maybe she felt like her daughter would obviously hurt.
See, I didn't know Allison had said that because I do know she said she felt suicidal and depressed 3 days later, and then the mom said she went to the police. Police say they have no record of. I maybe called the police, but the police say they have no record of anything like that. Yeah.
And Portnoy basically shared some texts or like DMs between him and the girl. Okay, so really interesting thing here. Obviously, we don't know who's telling the truth. There's really no way for us to know.
Yeah.
Right. So we can't really speculate on what the truth is, but we can talk about how it's being handled. And an interesting thing that we saw from Portnoy is he went straight at the Business Insider.
Yep.
They tried to, assault his character. Is that the term? Assault my character?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And
assassinate his character.
Assassinate, yeah. Assault. and they try to assassinate his character. So he immediately goes at the writer. He goes at the CEO of the Business Insider, who apparently is this guy who got like kicked out of Wall Street. The SEC said that he had like these securities violations and he's a real scumbag. Also, there's some people that like might have shorted the Penn stock. Penn is this gaming company that there's a gambling company that he's partnered up with Barstool. It dropped 20% once the story came out. Now, also they didn't meet certain quarterly earnings projections they thought they would, so that was part of the drop, right? It wasn't just because of that. But an interesting thing is that he went on the attack, right? And if you really want to talk about like cancel culture and cancelers, the cancel culture fight is not really from the talent working within corporations perspective. Okay. So like when people are like, Dave Chappelle is fighting cancel culture. It's not really Dave's fight. Right. Because Dave gets paid. Netflix, if they choose to keep the special on, is fighting back against cancel culture. But once Dave has put out the work, there's nothing to fight. Yeah. Right? Yeah, so Portnoy is an interesting position because he is the corporation.
He is Barstool.
Yes. He's choosing to fight back. Now, he's also fighting for his brand. He's fighting for his livelihood. Right? Like, of course he has to fight. But this is a good example of going, I don't care what these brands are saying. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to push back. I'm not going to apologize for this. I'm going to push back, and I'm going to fight for the to stop this cancellation, if you will. Right. I'm innocent, and I'm going all out, right? It's on some 50 Cent shit. If you fuck with 50 Cent, he's exposing everything. Yeah. And it seems like that's Portnoy's approach. And what's really interesting about that approach is you switch the conversation from did he rape these girls to is this a hit piece? Right. It used to be did he rape these girls? Now the conversation is this is a hit piece by the Business Insider. They charge a monthly subscription. If you really cared about these women, you would put this out publicly. Wouldn't you want to stop somebody who is out here assaulting women? But no, you're going to charge for the information about someone who's assaulting women. They did the same thing with David Dobrik. Like they put a article about him in the Vlog Squad. There was like alleged sexual assault, like rape charges against in that crew. Yeah. And they put that shit behind a paywall as well. And it's like, who do you really help? Like, who is the predator here? Like, if you want to help these women, wouldn't you put this information out in the world? Right, yeah. Like, why do you need to pay to know who the alleged rapist is?
Yeah, and also Tim Dillon had released a screenshot of someone DMing him, said, hey, Business Insider asked me to write an article about you, but I stepped away because it became clear it was a hit piece. So Tim Dillon is getting people telling him, they're trying to get me to write a hit piece about you.
And I've also heard that these are like guns for hire, Business Insider. Like, it's easy to, like, get an article written in the Business Insider.
Okay. Quick question. Do you know if that hurt David Dobrik's brand a lot? Because it seems to me like it did. It's over.
I don't think it's over, but it did affect it.
But it hurt that app that he was like he had an app apparently that was
it fucked his money up for sure.
Fucked his money up big.
The smartest thing you can do.
I think he's demonetized on YouTube now.
That's fucking gonna kill him.
It's over.
The smartest thing you can do in these situations is what Portnoy did, which is the direct response. And I don't know if lawyers tell you not to say anything, but I know it helps when you start it by saying, my lawyers are telling me not to say anything, but here goes. And then you get to tell your entire story uninterrupted for 12 minutes, whatever Portnoy did. So now you just get all of your side out. They wrote a article that takes 6 minutes to read. You get to rebut it for 12 minutes. And nobody can interrupt it. And I think that's the best move. Whereas a lot of these actor types or whatever, probably David Dobrik is going to be like, I don't know. I'll just keep quiet, trust people. This motherfucker's like, nope, let's fire back.
And he got the barbs. He got the Barstool barbs.
Yeah, he does.
The Barstool motherfuckers rock with Portnoy to the end of days. So if he goes, hey, cancel Insider or whatever he put, it was like, oh, you going to cancel me? No, we're going to cancel y'all. Yeah. And then that shit starts trending. And what's really interesting is it basically sets a tone. It's like, if you're going to do it, it was very easy back in the day to just write an article, right? Right. You can write an article about any actor or that kind of stuff, and they can't really fight back. Yeah. But if you write an article about Portnoy and your name is on that article, it's not an anonymous article, be ready for smoke. Yeah. That's what he's saying. You can call me a rapist. We are going to make sure you are infamous. This Blodgett guy, the guy who's the CEO of Business Insider, is the laughingstock of Barstool right now. And the whole community is going to devour that motherfucker. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he's the one responsible.
And actors are going to be like, well, I'm sorry if she misunderstood. Maybe I misunderstood. And Portnoy's like, nah, fuck you, fuck them. It's hit him up, Tupac type shit.
Hit him up!
Yeah, fuck you as a whole crew, whatever it is. Let's go. Yeah, dude, it was a well-handled move. And this is why I have... Go ahead.
I just think it's funny. I love the fact that he's fighting back against the cancel culture shit. That being said, like, our boy Francis Ellis was fired from Barstool for a mistake.
Yeah, I had that thought too.
Like, he literally made a mistake. So like, I need to know where that same energy is like when it comes to the people that are expendable. Yeah. And that's when you really know you're fighting back against cancel culture. It's like, if someone expendable is canceled and you just let that shit and you tell them like, yo, you resign.
That's a good point.
You're
that's
not really
a great point.
Cancel culture. So it's like, it's not like a fight against cancel culture. It's a fight to save your life. Yeah. You don't want the scarlet letter, the R. Yeah. Rapist, that's done. It's over.
Yeah, you have to fight.
You got to fight. You don't got a choice. I want to fight back against cancel culture. Nah, fam.
And you know what?
You want to sell pizzas? You can't be a rapist.
You know what thought I had is, I'm more inclined to believe him because we've already seen that video of what kind of sex he normally has. Yeah. So if that's normal sex for you, I think if you got that much to lose, you have to be 1,000% sure it's all consensual beforehand. I think. I mean, it's definitely possible to abuse the power, but I also can see a guy like that being like, I need to get proof that all of this is consensual. Yeah. So I tend to believe somebody who has sex like that normally is probably going to make sure it's all consensual. He's got his safe words and all that.
That's so risky.
It's such aggressive, like, violent sex. Yeah. That it's anybody saying Oh, it was rape. Look, I have marks on my neck or some shit. You probably do. The guy had a fucking dog collar on you, yanking on it. You know what I mean? Like, so you.
Yeah, that's
I
not
would
some
think,
shit you just bring up in a spur of a moment. You're saying.
Yeah, and like you're gonna make sure, like, look, I'm doing some shit that could be easily perceived. If I'm not 1,000% sure she's with it, and then she might be very not with it, not with it. So I got to make sure I get a yes on at every step.
Yeah.
Like at least that's what I thought, giving him some credit. I also had the thought of a guy who can beat a Me Too this many times. That's president, dog. That's president.
Yeah.
Trump. I knew Trump. I should have known Trump was gonna win when grab him by the pussy didn't take him down.
Yeah.
Or grab her by the pussy. That didn't destroy him.
Yeah.
Portnoy, buddy, it's not. He don't give a fuck. He's untouchable.
Now here's the question: does a guy like that end up having a similar fate to Trump, where it becomes so divisive and there's so many people that are against you and angry at you just because you are you, that it becomes hard to function as president or even as somebody?
It could, but one thing he does differently than Trump doesn't explain things.
Ooh, and Portnoy
explained everything.
He's a good salesman.
So if you're a
great
moderate,
salesman.
you can get with that easier than you can with Trump. Trump is a little bit tough to get with because he won't explain the shit. He's just like, nah, that's how I feel. Fuck you if you don't agree.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's going to win a lot of people. Portnoy will say that, but also explain.
Yeah.
This is how I feel. Here's why I feel this way.
Yeah. I mean, the dude might be uncancelable. Drop the N-bomb. Mad accusations.
I mean, it's insane.
Nothing sticks.
Nothing
and
ever
was
sticks.
still hustling the pizzas that weekend. He was like, yo, and I think he donated $350K. Like they sold 50,000 pizzas because they're doing this like, what is it called? At home pizza or whatever it is. Like the
Frozen pizzas.
Frozen pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
And they sold like 50,000 of them this weekend. I think maybe they were in Walmart for the first time this weekend. And they sold 50,000. He's like, I'm donating $350,000 to the Barstool Fund. This is the fund that like helps the small businesses.
Oh,
and shit like that.
yeah.
Boss move.
Yeah.
Made all the money on the fucking pizzas.
He knows exactly what he's
And people are going to go out and support you extra. They're going to buy the pizza just because they don't like the cancelers.
Yep.
It's like the
Right?
Goya beans thing.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Right.
So it's like anti-cancel marketing is a very powerful form of marketing.
I don't think he's uncancelable. I just think his audience is predominantly like young, white fraternity college kids.
Yes.
And all the allegations brought against him, whether it's like the N-word thing, sexual misconduct.
That's a good point.
Like if he starts going off on Trump and he's like, yo, fuck Trump or whatever, I think all of a sudden the Penn stock dips a lot more.
Oh, wait. Go on that. What do you think?
Just because like he interviewed Trump and like that got great reviews.
Yeah.
And like he's like catering to an audience. And I think the audience is predominantly like college age white kids. And the things like, sexual misconduct where there's not a perfect allegation, but there's a story, he said, she said.
Yeah.
I think they're willing to look past that in large numbers. If it's like, if his whole audience is women, I think this thing comes down on him a lot harder. If his audience is predominantly black and he says the N-word, I think that comes down on him a lot harder.